Good morning. My name is Hailey Staiger, and this is my colleague, Jessalyn Amundson. We will be the moderators for this event, and thank you candidates for serving the community in public education and for participating in West Valley's 11th Annual Local Government Candidate Forum. Thank you to the hundreds of students who wrote and submitted questions, and the student committee who selected the questions. To make this opportunity more widely available, we will be broadcasting this event on Facebook. Please practice civil discourse in all comments. One of the district's core values is embodying respect for the diversity and dignity of all. Facebook comments that violate this core value will be deleted, and students, please follow respectful audience behavior. Each candidate will have 1 minute for an opening statement, and then we will go to student questions. After each student asks their question, each candidate will have 1 minute to respond. The order of candidates will rotate. After the 4th and 8th questions, we will have lightning rounds in which candidates respond by holding up a sign that says yes or no. We will now go into opening statements. The order of opening statements will begin in the way the official ballot reads. So we will start with seat C, candidate Sam Spencer.
Good morning, my name is Sam Spencer. I am a U.S. Army veteran, 20 years. I raised 3 children in the Fairbanks area. Love Fairbanks so much, stayed after 28 years. I have a master's in business ethics and compliance. I have a PhD in leadership and global leadership and compliance, and I am serving on the board, wanting to serve on the board because I believe that our students and teachers in our community need transparency. We need transparency in our budgeting process. We've seen us get cut a lot. I also think that I would want to see our students get the same opportunities that my children had when they were going to school. So thank you.
Thank you. Now seat C, candidate Audra Hull.
Thank you. My name is Audra Hull, and as the last 4 years, I've been on the ground as the Title I team member for Hunter Elementary, listening to families and educators, standing up for students. When school closures were on the table, that was a turning point for me. I did my homework, I dug into the data, testified at the meetings, met with board members. I even traveled to Juneau to advocate for our district. That's the kind of commitment I'll bring. Real world experience as a mom of 6, a dedicated volunteer of 9 years. I'll focus on literacy, CTE, and student-centered budgeting, always keeping our students at the center of every decision I make. Thank you.
Thank you. And now seat D, candidate Naomi Hewitt.
Hi, thanks for coming. I came to Alaska 15 years ago from Southern Illinois, where I went to a small high school, only 600 kids. I came for a job opportunity after graduating college. It was a summer job, and I'm still here 15 years later. I'm a mom, a journeyman telecommunications lineman, a business rep of my peers, and I work to serve my community by solving problems, advocating for fairness, and making sure people's voices are heard. The Fairbanks North Starborough communities deserve the best education possible, and that means strong schools, transparency of communications, and a borough that works together to create opportunities for our students.
Thank you. And now seat D, Melissa Burnett.
Good morning, West Valley. My name is Melissa Burnett. Some of you probably know me from the rink. I've announced plenty of West Valley hockey games and even managed some of your club teams. So it's pretty fun for me to be here today speaking to you all instead of announcing your names over a loudspeaker. I was going to say I'm glad I could get you out of class this morning, but then I realized this is for a class, so that probably doesn't help. I'm a mom of 3, a coach, and I work in local radio. For the past 3 years, I've also served on the school board this past year as president. I'm running for re-election because I want to keep making sure your voices are heard, your teachers are supported, and your schools are strong, not just today, but for the future that you are stepping into. And there's just one thing that I need to know today. Hey, West Valley, how do you feel?
Now we will start with our questions from students. Audience members, please hold your applause until all candidates have answered the question. The first question is from Lacey, Eli, and Lena, all 12th grade students. It will be asked by Lena.
Hi, my name is Lacey Damaris. I'm a senior.
Hi, my name is Lena Wiegand. I'm a senior.
Hi, my name's Eli Moore. I'm a senior.
Our question is, according to the Board of Education's 2025 legislative priorities, the Fairbanks North Star Borough School District faced deep budget cuts that led to more than 200 job losses and 4 school closures. Budget deficits have led to increased class sizes, which creates more stress for teachers and students and makes for a less productive learning environment. If elected, how would you choose to use the $2.7 million budget to remedy the increased class sizes in schools?
Audra Hull, you have 1 minute.
Thank you. If I had $2.7 million to address increased class size, I would start by restoring the 3.5 positions recently cut at Barnett Magnet School. From there, I'd prioritize lowering the pupil-teacher ratio in secondary schools, which has gone up by nearly 10 students over the course of 15 years in high school. Smaller class sizes support stronger outcomes for students and help reduce burnout for educators. Previous boards have balanced the budget by increasing PTR. I'd also look at how we can use the funding to protect and strengthen programs like career and technical education, which offer real-world pathways to success. The district's budget committee, which includes parents, educators, and community members, has consistently ranked smaller class sizes as a top priority. That tells me this is a shared value and where our investments should reflect community needs. Thank you for the excellent question.
Thank you. Sam Spencer is next.
Thank you. I've managed, can you hear me? Can you all hear me? I've managed budgets for oil and gas industry here in Alaska and for Department of Defense of over $100 million. So $2.7 million is not enough money to undo all the damage that has been done to our Department of Education here in Alaska. But what I would first do if I were to get those savings is, first of all, talk to our educators, because as your question suggests, our classrooms are full and folks have lost their positions. So I would focus on using those funds to bring back staff in the classrooms. I think that the para staff could reduce the classroom sizes, and also invest in tutors and give teachers a breathing room, and also use students as well. Avoid spending on any unnecessary contracts that we have, and also like maybe bring back some of our nighttime custodial work, not take on that additional year of custodial contracting that we brought on that we say we saved $3 million.
Thank you. Now, Melissa Burnett.
Thank you for the question. It's important to note that due to the enrollment loss we're currently experiencing, the district does not currently have an extra 2.7 available to invest. But if we did, my first priority would be absolutely to our teachers in classrooms. Smaller class sizes make a huge difference. They allow teachers to give more individualized attention, reduce stress in the classroom, and create a better learning environment for every student. If given the opportunity, I would direct those funds towards hiring additional teachers to help bring class sizes down and give both students and teachers the support that they deserve, starting with the Barnett Magnet and restoring the 2.5 FTE there.
Thank you. Now, Naomi Hewitt is next.
Yeah, I would echo that. I believe that the funds were unfortunately consumed by the lower enrollment, but also I would invest that back into our teachers to reduce those class sizes. I would start with retention and recruitment of quality teachers to our borough and work with existing teachers and staff at our schools to see what their recommendations are for creating better classroom sizes that fits the needs of each individual student at each grade level.
Thank you. The next question comes from Violet, a senior.
My name is Violet Burgess, and I'm a senior, and my question is, recently there have been ICE raids in our community. Under President Trump's ruling, policies which once protected sensitive locations, such as churches and schools, were revoked in January. This means that legally, ICE raids can happen in our community schools, which can cause trauma, disrupted schooling, as well as a loss of trust in institutions. According to the American Immigration Council, how would you, as a board member, prioritize student safety during these times?
Naomi Hewitt, you have 1 minute.
Thanks for such a great question. I think hopefully everyone has heard of the new resolution brought forth by Bobby Burgess and Meredith that was recently passed. And it makes it very clear that the administration is open and supportive of doing anything within its legal means to protect kids from those traumas and disruptions. I think it's super important that we as a community stand together and support each other. I think it's key that our board and administration make sure that this resolution is implemented, understood, and people can follow this existing policy and understand it, because mental preparedness and being ready for that type of situation is crucial.
Thank you. Melissa Burnett is next.
Yes, thank you. The safety of our students will always and has always been a top priority. As mentioned, our board did recently pass a resolution directly addressing this concern, reaffirming that our schools are a safe place for all students. It's important to note that FERPA also protects all of you students. Regardless of your background, regardless of wherever you come from, FERPA and this policy, our ARs, it all protects you. And as a district, we are legally and morally required to protect all students in our care. And I will continue to uphold that commitment so that families can trust our schools remain safe, supportive environments focused on learning, and also supporting our administration when situations may arise through this as well. So thank you for that question.
Thank you. Now Sam Spencer.
Thank you for your question. Every student and adult deserves to feel safe when walking into a school building. I appreciate this question because as a school board member, I would push for clear district policy that we have enacted and make sure that policy that has been passed is enforced. And like Melissa said, this is federal law. This is also Alaska law, that it doesn't matter your status as an immigrant or whoever you are, you deserve to feel safe walking into schools. And I will stress every single policy that states that.
Thank you. Audra Hull is next.
Student safety, both physical and emotional, must remain a top priority. The idea of ICE activity in your schools can create fear, instability, and trauma for students and their families. As a board member, I would advocate for clear policies that protect our students as safe spaces and ensure staff are prepared to respond appropriately if these situations arise. It's equally important that families are informed of their legal rights and connected to trusted local resources that can support them during uncertain times. Families should never feel isolated or afraid to send their children to school. Thank you, Violet.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Wes, a senior.
My name is Wesley Watts. I am a senior. The average start time for high schoolers in Alaska is 8:30 a.m. For high schoolers in the Fairbanks North Star Borough, their start time is 7:30 a.m. universally. This outlier challenges the biological tendency in adolescents who tend to stay up later. This can lead to sleep deprivation and attendance issues. Do you plan to do anything about the school start times which are damaging attendance percentages and students in mental and physical health?
Melissa Burnett, you have 1 minute.
Thank you for the question. I am supportive of actually exploring later start times for high school students. Research does show that teens learn better with more sleep, and even a small shift can help, but it is more complex than just moving the clock. Our transportation system is already stretched, and changes would require more routes and drivers that we don't currently have. We'd also need to consider impacts on sports, clubs, and student jobs if the day runs later. This is a conversation that is absolutely worth having, but any change must balance student health with practical realities like funding, transportation, and family schedules.
Thank you. Naomi Hewitt is next.
Thanks. I would love to take a look at this. It's important for students to have input on their education and how that happens. We have to use the community approach to scheduling and how we address the issues around this. Melissa spoke to bus routes and childcare. There's a lot of pieces that have to come together by moving the schedule. We need to think about what programs we can improve or create that will increase attendance along with mental and physical health. Better data is necessary. There was a study that was done on this years ago, but it only included 2 of our high schools, and I think to get a better grasp on this, we need to have data collected from all high school students, or all high schools that represent all students. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Audra Hull.
I believe this is a conversation worth revisiting. Fairbanks high schools do start much earlier than the state average, and research, along with conversations I've had with sleep specialists, show the later start times can support student focus, mental health, and even reduce behavioral issues. It was looked at several years ago. I think it's time to take another look. Of course, any change would need to consider things like transportation, after-school jobs, and family routines. I support exploring options that prioritize student well-being and long-term learning outcomes. Thank you, Wesley, for the question.
Thank you. Sam Spencer is next.
Good morning, Wesley. The research is clear that more sleep to function is necessary. So starting at 7:30 does work against biology, and I'm a testament to that. After years of getting up at 5:30 in the morning and then retiring, I need my sleep, so I definitely agree with you. I would support reviewing the Bell schedule and listening to students and teachers and the transportation staff. So yes, I would support that, revisiting. Thank you, Wesley.
The next question comes from Tyler, a senior.
Hello, my name is Tyler Madnick. I'm a senior. Here's my question. As one of the very few students of color at West Valley, I often feel like I stand out. Last year's enrollment from the data dashboards shows that across the district, 77% of students were identified as Caucasian. I've also noticed that most of our curriculum centers around white voices. Representation in what we learn matters because it helps all students gain a fuller understanding of history and society. What steps is the district taking to make sure our curriculum reflects diverse voices and contributions throughout subjects so students can feel safe and included in conversations about race?
Sam Spencer, you have 1 minute.
I hear you. Representation in curriculum matters. Students should see themselves and others reflected in what they study. Right now, too many voices are missing, and that limits everyone's understanding of history and literature. And we see an attack on things like DEI. I never heard of the word DEI until the phrase DEI until a couple years ago. But I will push for inclusivity because it's important. I'll push for a curriculum that reviews and ensures that diverse authors and leaders aren't just wiped away in our history. Because guess what? It is a part of our history. So thank you, and I see you.
Thank you. Audra Hull is next.
Tyler, thank you for bringing up such an important point. As a school board candidate, I believe that every student deserves to feel seen, heard, and valued in their education. Our district's curriculum is shaped through a diverse curriculum committee made up of educators and stakeholders who work to ensure that multiple voices and perspectives are represented across subjects. In addition, the district has a board-run diversity committee that supports students from all backgrounds and helps make sure our policies and materials reflect the diversity for our schools. These efforts are part of our commitment to creating a learning environment where every student feels they belong. Thank you.
Thank you. Now Naomi Hewitt.
Thanks for such an important question. And I want to start with saying that these conversations are crucial for making this change happen. And your voice carries just as much weight as my voice as public comment for the school board or to the curriculum committee. They recently just ended public comment for the social studies curriculum. And if you want to be a part of that, Make that change. Use your outside voice.
Thank you. Melissa Burnett is next.
Thank you. Yes, you are absolutely right. Representation in what we learn matters. Our district does have a thorough process in our teaching and learning department and with our curriculum committee. They roll out, like Naomi just mentioned, surveys that are related to our curriculums. That said, I know that there is a lot of room to do better. And so one area I would like to focus on is actually increasing participation in those surveys and in those parts of our curriculum. So we are getting those voices and more people are coming to the table. So we are having more well-rounded discussions. We do have that process. And so I would just like to expand on that and make sure more people are coming to the table and filling them out. So thank you for that question.
Thank you.
And now we will go into our first lightning round. Candidates will indicate they agree by holding up the yes paddle or disagree by holding up the no paddle. We will begin the lightning round now.
Hello, my name is Isla Stanley-Strom. I'm a senior. Should schools be able to provide emergency contraceptives to students?
Hello, I'm Noah Moore. I'm a freshman. Are you going to increase punishment for vandalism?
Hello, I'm Addie Wiedmeyer. I'm a junior. Is the current curriculum preparing students for the future job market?
Hello, I'm Zofna David. I'm a senior. Would you like to add more Alaska Native languages to the curriculum?
Hello, I'm Zidane. I am a sophomore. Do you think LGBTQ students feel safe in schools?
Thank you. And that concludes our first lightning round, and we will now continue with our students' questions. The next question comes from Hailey, a senior.
Hi, my name's Hailey Staiger, and I'm a senior here. My question is, according to Alaska Beacon, nearly 2/3 of teachers quit before retirement, with many citing inadequate retirement benefits and unstable funding. In Fairbanks, it has been proposed that over 160 positions will be cut. Increasing class sizes and teacher stress. What steps would you take to improve teacher retention by particularly addressing retirement benefits and incentives so teachers can build long-lasting careers in our community?
Audra Hull, you have 1 minute.
Thank you. Teacher retention is essential for strong school community. While retirement benefits are determined at the state level, the school board can play a role by advocating through resolutions to highlight the importance of stable, supportive benefits for our educators. That said, I believe we also need to focus on what the district can directly control, like reducing class sizes where possible and providing teachers with the resources and support they need to manage stress and succeed. Creating a positive work environment and opportunities for professional growth can help teachers build long-term careers in Fairbanks. Ultimately, supporting our educators means listening to their needs and making smart, practical investments that keep them motivated and feeling valued. Thank you, Hailey.
Thank you. Sam Spencer is next.
Our teacher retirement in Alaska is worse than every other state in the country. They have no pension. I will push the legislature to give them retirement reform. The teachers are burnt out. If I did not have a pension offer at the end of a 20-year stretch in the military, I would not have stayed. We have to explore incentives to make sure that we are taking care of our teachers, period. They need their retirement.
Thank you. Now, Melissa Burnett.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Teacher retention is actually one of our biggest challenges. I don't believe going back to a defined benefit system is sustainable. Instead, we should invest in competitive salaries, stronger defined contribution plans, and local incentives like housing support, professional development that make Fairbanks an attractive place to teach. At the district level, we can support teachers by keeping class sizes manageable, ensuring resources are in place, and fostering a respectful and collaborative environment and working with them. Policies that put district leaders into classrooms can also help relieve stress and provide support where it's needed most. When teachers feel valued every day, they're more likely to see Fairbanks as a place to stay for the long run. Thank you.
Thank you. Naomi Hewitt is next.
First, I'd like to include teachers in the conversation. Make it a two-way communication. Teachers have talked to me about quality and cost of healthcare, more prep time, and like you stated, returning our teachers to a defined benefit pension. Another way to increase retention is quality training and onboarding. Raise your hand if you've ever had training for a job you are about to do. Special education aides do not receive any training before starting their job, and it's one of the most difficult ones. I serve as a health and welfare trustee for the IBEW's self-funded healthcare system, and I have a few ideas on how to make healthcare more affordable for our teachers and staff. A defined benefit pension is a way to retire with a livable wage. I'm lucky enough to have a defined benefit pension through my union, and I would love to share that with teachers.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Mia, a senior.
Hello, my name is Mia Greshover and I'm a senior. My question is, according to Education Week, there have been 228 school shootings since 2018 in which at least one person was killed or hurt. I understand that there is a limit on what can be done, but what is one way you would improve the preparation in case something happens?
Naomi Hewitt, you have 1 minute.
Thanks. Yeah, I would say that routine ALICE training for the staff and drills at the school is crucial. This type of thing has to become, like I said earlier, muscle memory. One way that the board can help with this is mental health awareness and mental health first aid training. These are a great way for people, students, to understand what it looks like when someone is struggling. My best friend had tried to commit suicide and I had no idea, and I had just spent a weekend with her. That's the reality that we're facing. Mental health doesn't discriminate on who you are or your status in life, and it takes all of us to make this community great.
Thank you. Melissa Burnett is next.
Yeah, I would echo a lot of what Naomi has just said. School safety is a top priority. While we can't prevent every tragedy, we can and must be prepared. That means having strong emergency response plans, which we do have ALICE training, but making it more. Practicing them regularly, keeping communication clear between staff, families, and law enforcement. Prevention is just as critical. We do need to train staff to recognize warning signs. We need staff to build relationships so students feel safe speaking up. And then we do need to ensure that those mental health supports are in place. And that's a big one. We really do need to look at the mental health right now. That's key. So thank you.
Thank you. Now Sam Spencer.
Thank you, Mia. I echo your sentiments on ALICE, both of you. And I'm going to ask you, because I have that in my notes, I have it, the acronym, because I want everyone to know what it is. Do you have it written down? Because I can only remember that the L is lockdown and the E is evacuate.
I should know this off the top of my head, and I don't.
I don't either, but I wrote it down. Do you?
A is alert.
Alert, lockdown. We're on my time. But anyway, I wanted to say that I noticed on the school district's website that they were doing ALICE, some variation of it in all the schools by, I'm running out of time, by school level. And I would like to see that implemented again just to make sure that there's some preparedness for our students at all grade levels. I know that elementary will not be able to do the same thing that that the high schoolers will do, but I definitely think it's important that we be prepared should something happen. I advocate for mental health counselors as well in our school systems.
Thank you. Audra Hull is next.
Thank you. Keeping schools safe is one of the most important responsibilities that we have. While there's no single solution, one meaningful step we can take is improving how we prepare and respond. Preparation also means prevention. By investing in mental health support, and rebuilding counselor positions, which previous boards have cut. We can strengthen early intervention and help students before a crisis ever develops. It's about creating a culture where students feel seen, supported, and safe. Thank you, Mia.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Amanda, a sophomore.
Hello, my name is Amanda Saginat Lamboy, and I'm a sophomore. My question is, statistics from the National Institute of Health states that bullying towards adolescents is higher based on your race. African American youth, 24%, white youth, 17.5%, Latino youth, 15.2%, and Asian American youth, 6.5%. I am Latina. My parents are from a Spanish-speaking territory. From kindergarten to 4th grade, I was bullied because I was of darker complexion from the other kids, them being white, and for not having straight hair that quote-unquote everyone should have. If elected, what policies would you enforce to prevent all kinds of bullying, not just racial bullying for adolescents?
Melissa Burnett, you have 1 minute.
Thank you, Amanda, for this question. Bullying in any form is unacceptable. And no student should feel unsafe at school because of their race, their appearance, or any reason at all. I support strong anti-bullying policies that include clear reporting systems, consistent follow-up, and education that promotes kindness and respect. Our diversity committee has drafted an anti-bullying resolution that will soon come before the board, and I believe it's an important step in making prevention a priority and showing students that they are supported. Every student deserves to feel safe, valued, and respected because it's the foundation of learning, and it's something that I have always stood behind. Bullying is not okay.
Thank you. Naomi Hewitt is next.
Thanks for sharing your story. It's really important that we do. There are strong policies in place, and this type of behavior is definitely not okay. It's on all of us to stop bullying. If you see something, you have to say something. It's in our hands. We are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. If we allow this to happen, we're saying that it's okay, and it's not okay. It stops with us coming together with one voice and saying, no more bullying. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you. Now, Audra Hull.
First, Amanda, I want to say I'm really sorry that you had that experience. And secondly, I want to say thank you for your willingness to share it with all of us today. Bullying of any kind, whether it's based on race, appearance, language, or anything else, has no place in our schools. If elected, I would support strong, consistently enforced policies that address all forms of bullying. That includes making sure reports are taken seriously and students feel safe coming forward. We also need to focus on education, helping students understand the impact of their words and actions and encouraging them to look out for one another when something isn't right. Every student deserves to feel respected and supported at school. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you. Sam Spencer is next.
Hi, Amanda. We do have policies in place, and I think that what's happening here is it sounds like it's not being implemented. The policy in place covers everything from color to creed to sexual preference to sexual identity to race, you name it. It just has to be followed. And I would like to say that there's a strategic plan out there that just came out. And I went back to it last night to reread it. And I'm gonna say they did a good job on most of it. But I'm gonna ask that if they don't fix it, when I'm on the board, I'm gonna fix it, because there's some areas where it says our students instead of some words I'd like to see changed. Instead of our students, I want those words to change to all students, every student, any student. Because you know what? That covers everybody. When you say our, what does our mean? That could be cutting somebody out. So if it doesn't say any student, every student, that's what I wanted to say. Thank you for your question.
The next question comes from Nathan, a sophomore.
Good morning. My name is Nathan Arnold, and I'm a sophomore, and my question is, according to NCSL, National Conference of State Legislatures, a 4-day school week could offer benefits, including cost savings, improved student attendance, and increased teacher morale. Cordova has adopted the 4-day week, and it helped retain teachers. If you were to be elected to your position, what would you consider in seeing if our district could shift to a 4-day week?
Sam Spencer, you have 1 minute.
Having benefited from working on a job where I had a 3-day weekend every week, I would consider that. But I think that it's going to take more than just me saying that here. I think we have to look at the pros and cons of that idea. I did call Cordova. I haven't gotten a call back. At first, I got in contact with California, but called Alaska, so I haven't received a call back from them. The benefits are teacher retention and attendance cost savings, but some concerns are childcare, maybe longer school days. And so if elected, I'll push to see if the community is willing to listen to a 4-day school week.
Thank you. Audra Hull is next.
I actually have in-laws in a district with a 4-day school week, and they really like it. What works in one community doesn't always work in another. If this idea were to come up in Fairbanks, I'd want to approach it collaboratively by listening to students, staff, and families to understand the full impact. I'm open to exploring it, only if the data shows it supports student learning and doesn't create new challenges for working families. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you. Now Naomi Hewitt.
It's great to see that critical thinking and problem solving. I wonder if there's a way to create a working group to address a problem like this that, as Audra said, includes teachers, staff, parents, administrators, maybe even the school board. What would you do on your day off? Would you sleep in? Would you do an internship? Could it be constructive, right? What does that look like for unintended consequences to our community, like working families that work 5 days a week? We have to consider all those things when making big decisions like this. But thank you for sharing, and it's amazing.
Thank you. Melissa Burnett is next.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Originally, I actually wasn't in support of this, but after speaking with my friend Pete out of Cordova, it actually does deserve some good discussion, and it's worth to have a continued discussion on it. And they are seeing some cost savings, and they are seeing improved attendance. These are all things that are happening, but there are challenges, which are longer days for students, impacts on working families, and adjustments for activities like sports, and then adjustments for transportation, which is very huge for us in Fairbanks. It's also important to note that such a change would require a memorandum of agreement with our teacher and support staff unions. And so it really would need to be a conversation between them and us and this community. And so it would be something that we would all need to get together for to discuss and see if it's worth making happen. Thank you.
And now we will go into our second lightning round. Candidates will indicate they agree by holding up the yes paddle or disagree by using the no paddle. We will begin the lightning round now.
Hi, I'm Lydia Wise. I'm a senior here at West Valley. The question that I have for you is, have you ever dealt with school shootings before, just like in any capacity? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Lacey Demaris. I'm a senior. My question is, do you agree with cell phone policies in the school district? Thank you.
I'm Jack Jones and I'm a sophomore. Do you think that religion has a place in our public schools?
Hi, I'm Eli Moore. I'm a senior. Do you believe the dress code is fair to everyone?
Thank you. And that concludes our final lightning round.
The next question comes from Avery, a sophomore.
Hi, my name is Avery Nicholas. I'm a sophomore, and along with the new cell phone policy, West Valley High School implemented a rule changing this year to enforce, implemented a rule change this year to enforce the use of lockers for storing backpacks throughout the school day. My peers and I have concerns about this rule. Time is lost due to students forgetting materials they need for class that were left in bags. Also, there's not enough time to use the restroom to get from lockers to class in a 7-minute passing period. Do you agree with this rule change, and what are the steps as students to get a rule or policy change when our voices are not included in the decision-making process?
Audra Hull, you have 1 minute.
Thank you. I understand the intention behind the new locker rule is to help manage classroom disruptions and improve safety. I also hear concerns from students about the challenges it creates, like losing valuable class time when retrieving forgotten materials and tight passing periods, making it hard to use the restroom. It's important that students have a real voice in these decisions because you're the ones that are directly affected. At school board meetings, students are given preference to testify over community members that have signed up ahead of time. So your voice can be heard. If elected, I'd support making sure student input is included early in the process so policies reflect your needs and help create a better school environment for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Sam Spencer is next.
Process matters. If students feel ignored, then trust in leadership gets eroded. So I hear your concern. Rushing to class is hard. I remember when I was in high school, I think we had 5 minutes. That is not enough time. The minute you get to the classroom, everybody's asking for a pass to go to the restroom. So I understand the safety issue with the backpacks. So I understand the teacher side. And then also it might be the issue of not enough space with the classrooms being congested, so many students, teachers trying to get through to the pathways to get to the students. So why don't you speak to student government to see if this is something, if it's a West Valley issue, that the student government could approach the administration and see if maybe you can get more time between classes or possibly even use plastic backpacks, see-through backpacks.
Thank you. Now, Melissa Burnett.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate this question. I really appreciate you guys speaking up about how the policies that we put in place are affecting you. I know that the cell phone policy was a huge change. With the backpack thing, I don't know whether I support it or not. What I do know is that it was implemented for a reason, and I support the reasonings. But what I will say is that I do recognize the inconvenience, and I know that there are students who need to have access to their backpacks. And so that if there are students with medical needs or things like that, I highly suggest speaking with your parents about getting this in their IEPs and 504 plans. But also, you know, your voices matter in shaping these policies. So please come to our board meetings and testify and tell us these things. We'd love to work with you guys, your student councils, and everybody possible to be able to make this work for everybody that's involved with it. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Naomi Hewitt is next.
Thanks. The union side of me doesn't like unilateral changes without people's input that get affected by those changes. But like people up here have already spoken about, you can affect change with a petition to your principal or start a student leadership team. I encourage you to get teachers to join your fight and your cause. A petition can look like gathering signatures from other students, and it's important to come forward with a resolution, the change that you want to see. You may not be able to vote until you're 18, but you certainly have a voice to this board, to the existing school board, and to your administration through one voice.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Isla, a senior.
Hello, my name is Isla Stanley-Strom. I'm a senior. In my time here at West Valley, I have experienced how having positive relationships with my teachers helped me feel more motivated in class. Ms. Sprinkle runs a restorative practices program that allows teachers and students to talk to one another when behavioral or academic problems occur. It also encourages teachers training focused on instruction methods on how to connect with students, which can be a huge factor in student engagement in class. Do you have plans on expanding this program in our school and or district-wide to provide more support for teachers and students in this way?
Naomi Hewitt, you have 1 minute.
Thanks. I think the data suggests that connection before correction definitely works. If you can't see the repercussions of your actions and take part in the restoration of that, it's tough to see the damage that you've done. We talked the lightning round about vandalism. Would it mean more if you got detention for a week, or if you had to help a custodial person clean up your mess? I think that I would get more out of fixing my mistake and taking ownership over that. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes every day in my job. We just have to make it right. And sometimes we have to learn how to make that right. Thanks for the question.
Thank you. Melissa Burnett is next.
Yeah, thank you for the question. You're right. Positive relationships between teachers and students are key to motivation and success. Programs that encourage connection and respect deserve consideration, but we also need to be thoughtful about how we expand them. Restorative practices have benefits, but also challenges. I do support investing in professional development that helps teachers strengthen connections while also exploring options like mentoring, peer support, and teacher-led strategies. The goal is always strong relationships, and we need approaches that are practical, sustainable, and responsive to all feedback. Thank you.
Thank you. Now Sam Spencer.
Restorative practices like Ms. Springle's program gives students a voice, and it prevents conflicts from escalating. And this is a smart student-centered investment that I think we should keep going. It keeps kids in class, and it doesn't push them out. So I support expanding this program district-wide. Thank you.
Thank you. Audra Hull is next.
Thank you for sharing your experience, Isla. The connection between an educator and student can be a difference maker in the education experience. I believe it's important that this kind of program be teacher-driven. I would not want to mandate it across all schools because every school is different. Every teacher is different, and every student is different. If there's interest from educators, I'd support the district in making training and resources available so schools can adopt the approach in a way that fits their specific community. Thank you.
The next question comes from Chance, a senior.
Hello, I am Chance Slater. I'm a senior year at West Valley High School. My question is about the use of nicotine products in our schools. This has been an issue for longer than I've been alive and has only been made worse since the invention of e-cigarettes that do not leave a scent like traditional ones do. I've seen students smoking since 6th grade elementary school, even in classes with the teachers present, and not getting caught. According to the Truth Initiative, 38.4% of students reported frequent nicotine use, and that's only the ones who will admit to it. We have vape detectors in our bathrooms to combat the issue, but they are expensive, ineffective, and easy to break. I've seen students simply blow down in order to not alert the detectors. Vaping is less an issue of catching people in the act. It should be about helping people quit. Would you support adding a sort of addiction help program that students could anonymously join?
Melissa Burnett, you have 1 minute.
Thank you. Yes, I absolutely am in support of this idea. You're right. Vaping and nicotine use are not just about catching students. They're about addressing the root of addiction. While detectors and discipline may play a role, they're not solving the larger issue. And I've experienced that firsthand with many teenagers that I know. I would support implementing an anonymous student-centered program that focused on helping students quit and giving them healthier coping strategies. This could look like peer support groups, partnerships with community health organizations, or confidential counseling opportunities. By creating a safe space for students to ask for help without fear of punishment, we can better address nicotine use as the health issue that it really truly is. Thank you for this question.
Thank you. Naomi Hewitt is next.
Yes, I would like to look at utilizing existing programs like the anonymous helplines and programs through the state health department. Any one of you can be an advocate for increased education and prevention. Start a peer-to-peer group with incentives to quit. It can be in your hands, but it also can be supported by your school as well. Thanks for bringing it up.
Thank you. Now, Audra Hull.
Yes, I would support creating anonymous addiction help programs so students can get support without fear of punishment. I want our students to have the resources and the education they need to quit and make healthier choices. Thank you, Chance.
Thank you. Sam Spencer is next.
Thank you. I heard a couple people say up here that it is a health issue and not a discipline issue, so I appreciate hearing that. And also that we want students ultimately to quit, because sometimes people don't realize that they have an addiction. So I'm glad that I also heard that echo that we want them to quit, because sometimes you might say anonymous if you feel like you have an addiction and they think, oh, I don't have an addiction. So I like that as well. I want to do an education campaign that's led by our peers as well. But yes, I definitely would support an anonymous addiction or quitting program for these students. Thank you for the question.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, candidates. It is now time for closing statements. Each candidate will have 1 minute. We will rotate the same way as the opening statement, but in reverse order. Melissa Burnett, you will go first.
I just want to say thank you all for being here, and thank you for being engaged in the process and for being involved. And I know that your teachers probably made you be here, but each and every one of you I watched tonight with your faces looking at us and smiling faces, you seemed like you were really into this. And it's just really great to hear from you and how things are shaping and affecting you here at school. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for once again to your teachers for doing such an incredible forum. And don't forget to tell your parents that voting is October 7th.
Thank you. Naomi Hewitt is next.
Yeah, I'd also like to say thanks for everybody for coming. Thanks for the wonderful, thoughtful questions that made me stop and think and try to remember what it was like to be in high school, because it was a few years ago. Yeah, I'm excited to be a part of your education, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come in front of you guys and share my experience. Remember that your voice carries weight and that your voice matters. Thank you.
Thank you. Audra Hull is next.
Well, thank you for your attention this morning. And I know that you guys are taking notes because everyone's already closed their spiral notebooks. So thanks for hopefully taking notes, not just note passing. I've spent the last 9 years as a volunteer in our district and over the last 4 years as a Title I team member. I consistently show up, speak up, and advocate for students and educators. I lead with commitment, critical thinking, and a deep understanding of the challenges we face. I'm ready to serve with focus and heart. I look forward to serving not only the Wolf Pack, but every other school in our district. Thank you.
Thank you. Sam Spencer is next.
Again, thank you all for having me. Thank you all for showing up. Really appreciate the questions that you presented before us. They were very thought-provoking and much better than the ones we got yesterday. I am ready to serve you on the school board. As I stated earlier, I have a master's in business ethics and compliance. I have a doctorate in business, global business and leadership. I don't think that you have to go to college. I think that we have some wonderful CTE programs and some wonderful things that we can do here in Alaska. I want to see you all have the same opportunities that my children had when they went to school here in the district. So thank you all for your time.
And that concludes our candidate forum. And while it's too late to register to vote in this year's election, voting in next year's election is just as important. If you're 18 or older, get out and vote on October 7th. Here at West Valley, we will be participating in kids voting on Election Day, so be ready to show off your civic skills. Thank you students, staff, and parents at West Valley for supporting the 11th Annual West Valley Candidate Forum. And again, thank you to the candidates for all your time, dedication. This was an excellent forum.